Riders ready, watch the gate.
Welcome back, fans. We're here at Rock Hill, South Carolina, USA for tonight's Superfinal Time Trials. We had Dr. Jason Richardson in with us earlier. Now we have even a bigger star. We have Jamie Staff, Team USA, BMX head honcho. Jamie, thanks for joining us tonight.
You're welcome, Pete. Glad to be in here. Get to do something.
So we're going to start things off with the Superfinal Time Trials. These are the top 8 ranked women in the overall point standings as of right now, leading into this 4th round of the UCI BMX Supercross World Cup event. You see the start list: Danny George, Natalia Sarava, Bodarenko, Blau, Van Hoof, Crane, Christensen, and Smulders. Those will be the 8 ladies that are going to take to the track tonight, and that's the order it is. We'll start out with Danny George. Jamie, you know her well. She's up here leading things off, her first time tonight around the track here in competition. What can we expect to see out of Danny?
Good attitude. Danny's always fun to be around. She's a cool teammate. Pleasure to have around. And, yeah, she seems to be in good spirits. And obviously she missed out from going to Rio, so I'm sure she's pretty keen to put down a good result here.
So here we go with the start of the Superfinal Time Trial. Danny George from the United States is going to set the fastest time. Each of these ladies after her are going to try to beat it, but if not, Danny will be the top-seeded rider of the evening. As you'll see these riders coming out, there's 3 to 4 different time zone checkpoints throughout the track. You saw that green helmet come up as she exited turn number 1. That meant she had the fastest time. It's quite obvious because she's the first girl. So right now, Danny's going to set the pace for the rest of these women. Jamie, how did her lap look to you so far as she's about to make her way to the finish line?
Yeah, she has a pretty smooth, solid lap from Danny. I think she'll be happy with that one.
So, yeah, Danny's, of course, going to come across with that fastest time. So 35.60 is going to be the time to beat for any of those ladies. And you see right there, she's going to be on that rock, the Rock Hill hot seat, fastest woman in tonight's racing. So
She's
we'll
like,
move
we're going
on.
to be on that.
She's going to climb up that rock a little bit of mountain climbing.
There you go.
But there's Danny George going to sit there. How long she'll be there, we'll have to find out in about 40 seconds as we get ready for our next rider up. But Danny right now is excited to have that fastest time. So next up, it's going to be the young Russian woman, Natalia Sarova, who's going to be next up. She's been a rider with some inconsistency. She's been really fast. She's had a few crashes, and when she crashes, unfortunately, she's had some injuries. She's just coming back one now from, I think, our stop in Argentina. She was really trying to make it back for the Olympics, but unfortunately, she wasn't able to qualify. But tonight, she's forgot all about that. She's going to go out there and try to set a fast lap. So, Jamie, talk us through the lap here on Rock Hill as Natalia gets around the track.
Yeah, obviously the first straight's the same for the men and women. Huge, big jumps. As soon as they're out the gate, they're hitting about 35 mile an hour at the bottom of that ramp. And then as the women come around turn 1, they'll then take the left-hand side, and their jumps are just slightly smaller than the men's side. They just don't quite generate as much speed or enough speed to jump the big berm jump. But their section's just as technical. Just a slightly smaller jumps. But she's putting in a pretty solid lap here. I think she's going to be pretty happy with this one. No mistakes so far. Let's see what she gets. 35.8. A little bit slower, 0.2 slower than Danny. So she won't be climbing on the rock.
But definitely a successful run as she's able to get around that track without any injuries.
Here with Danny George in the hot seat. How was that lap? You were the first one to go. What are your odds of staying up here the whole night?
Probably pretty slim, but I felt like I put a really good, smooth lap together. I'm stoked to be time trialing because I obviously had a pretty bad start to the World Cup season, so I'm stoked just to be here and racing.
Well, cool. Good to see you here and good to see you in the hot seat.
Thank you.
So, yeah, we got Dr. Jason Richardson down there at the finish line. He's going to be interviewing our hot seat fillers until we get to that finalist who's going to take tonight's overall title. So next up, speaking of Russian women, it's going to be Yaroslavlova Bodarenko another one from Russia. She was impressive. 5th place at the Olympic Games. Definitely a great run for her there. Gave her a lot of confidence. This is the first time she's actually been in one of these Superfinal time trials, so she's excited about it, but also a little bit nervous. I just spoke with her coach over there in the coach team manager zone, so we'll expect to see. Don't know what to expect to see as she gets ready because she looked nervous, but she's one of those riders, rides aggressive, always rides well, but this will be her first time around the track on her own.
Yeah, a lot of these riders are not used to being the center of focus. You know, when you're in a big race, it's you're in the big race altogether. But she's come out the gate pretty strong, nice and smooth so far. Nice tight lines. The women have to really carve that first turn, take a nice tight line, and hang on to the left-hand side so they can hit their straight, their second straight. She's looking pretty good right now, getting some good cranks out of that second turn. Heading her way down the women's third straight of the rhythm section, coming into the last turn now. Still pretty good. She's got a green helmet, so that means she's the fastest so far. Is she going to be able to hang on to that to the finish line? Let's see.
Yes, she is. She chased that time all the way around the track, and Yaroslavlna Bondarenko will take over that hot seat. Definitely an impressive run here. As we said, her first time on a Superfinal, she was a little bit nervous, but she rode strong, she rode confident. As Jamie said, she was the center of attention right there, and it was the positive type of attention that these riders definitely want to have when they take a lap around the track by themselves.
Yeah, she's definitely happy with that lap. She's come on strong the last year or so, and you know, she's kind of made her way up to the top of the table now with some of the other big women in this in the women's Supercross. So she's going to be happy with that. That's going to be a tough time to beat, I think.
So we'll see if Judy Bois is able to come around and beat that time Bondarenko from Russia has set. But right now, as Jamie said, it's definitely, she had a clean lap. She had definitely a fast lap, a lot of good cranks in there. So we'll see if Judy is able to get up and be able to get near that time set by Bondarenko. So here we go with her start in tonight's Superfinal time trial from Rock Hill, South Carolina.
Nice clean start. Nice and smooth over the first jump. Hitting the second jump. She's still pretty smooth. As you see here, they have to really carve to keep that the inside line. She's got the red helmet, so she's not quite as fast as some of the others at the moment. Can she get it back, claw it back, and potentially be in for the best time by the end of the lap? Let's see.
So as Judy comes around, she has that second place time right now. Should she be able to crank it out down that last straightaway? I don't know. She crosses the line. Nope, she's going to stay in second. Almost half a second off of that time, but definitely an impressive run. She's going to be second overall ahead of George and Surova. So Yaroslavlna just looking into the abyss. It's rare to see her smile, so it's good. I'm sure she feels like she had a good lap. You can see she's still a little bit winded, but yeah, definitely a fast lap from her. And we'll see, we have 4 more ladies who are going to try to knock her off the rock here in Rock Hill.
She seems to be leaning against the rock at the moment. Maybe she hasn't got the energy to climb on top yet.
So Elke Van Hoof, current national champion from Belgium. She looks to be having a incredible season right now, ranked 4th of the women that are here overall ranking. So it'll be interesting to see. We're going to have a good battle coming down for this overall title. But right now, tonight, it's the battle of the Superfinal time trial for the elite women. Can Elke Van Hoof beat Yaroslavlna Bondarenko off the top seat? We will see as she's ready, loaded in the gate for her run here around the track in Rock Hill, South Carolina.
Nice snap by Elke there. There's a great snap. Hits that first jump nice and smooth. Really good clearance there on the jumps. It's all about keeping smooth, keeping your composure in these time trials. It's obviously you're racing against yourself, which can be uneasy for a lot of these athletes. A lot of these athletes, this is probably their first time trial by themselves. So it's kind of a unfamiliar territory for these riders, and it's something to get used to. And sometimes it's hard to even push yourself super hard. You know, a lot of riders like racing against other riders. That's what makes them go fast. But let's see. Oh, she set the fastest lap, 34.77. That puts her into the lead.
Yeah, so she will knock off Bondarenko from that top spot with a 34.59. 34.77 was Bondarenko's time, so just edging it out ever so slightly. but it's all about that 100th of a second to get that top seat in tonight's Superfinal Time Trial. But right now, it will be Elke Van Hoof who holds that seat, as we just have 3 ladies to go. But yeah, definitely a good run there for her. So next up, it'll be from the United States of America. It'll be Brooke Crane. Jamie, you know all about this young woman from Visalia, California.
Yeah, she's actually pumped to be here. She's excited. She even was commenting earlier ago. She's done a full warm up. She's ready to go. I think she's excited to be here. It's it's such a stressful year leading up to the Olympics. Brooke did an amazing job. Got a 4th there in Rio just a few weeks ago, but she's bounced back and she's ready to rock here in Rock Hill.
So let's get ready for Brooke Crane to start for tonight's Superfinal Time Trial for the elite women.
It's funny. Brooke was commenting earlier. She, in practice, I guess it was so windy, she actually jumped the first straight, and she's such a petite little thing that she actually felt like she got blown backwards. But she's got the green helmet here, putting in a really nice smooth lap. Again, she's obviously a fantastic athlete, 4th place finisher at the Rio Olympics just recently. She's getting every crank in she can. I think she wants to win here this weekend. She's going to be one of the top guns for sure.
Yeah, right now she's got the fastest time. Coming to the line, Brooke Crane just misses out on the ultimate fast time. She, in that last time zone, she held the fastest time, but just lost a little bit of time on that last straightaway. Elke Van Hoof dodges a bullet. She's going to continue to be our fastest rider here in tonight's Superfinal Time Trial for the elite women. With just 2 riders left to go, we'll see who of these 3, Elke Van Hoof, Simone Christensen, or Laura Smulders, will be tonight's victor. And I believe it'll be the first time win for any 3 of these women in the night Superfinal Time Trial for the elite women. Oh, well, Laura Smulders has won a couple, I think.
Simone's come on strong as well recently, so I expect a pretty good lap here.
So here we go with Simone Christensen's start tonight's Superfinal Time Trial.
Nice clean gate. Hits that big first jump, just shy of about 40 feet. Maybe not looking that impressive on TV, but trust me, when you get up pretty close to it, it's a huge jump. So she's got the red helmet, so she's not the quickest right now. Let's see if she can claw it back as she goes down the 2nd straight and coming into the 3rd straight. Not maybe taking the best lines there in the turn. A little bit too wide, I think. Not looking great right now. I don't think she's going to get that top spot.
Yeah, coming out of the last turn, it looks like she's sitting 4th overall right now. As she crosses the line, she will have the time of 35.39, and that will be the 4th fastest time for the night. So right now it's going to come down between Elke Van Hoof and Laura Smulders for tonight's fastest time trial. And Laura Smulders has won a lot of time trials, especially she won the World Championships in the time trial division. So we'll see how things go for her. Again, she's also coming back from a little bit of an injury, but she's rode strong, and so right now it's going to be a good battle to see who can take that top spot between Elke Van Hoof and Laura Smulders. Last woman up in tonight's Superfinal Time Trial here in Rock Hill, South Carolina.
Perfect conditions here tonight. Nice temperature, not too hot. The wind's calmed down. It's been pretty gusty over the last couple of days of practice, but I know the athletes are appreciating the drop in the wind tonight. And beautiful here, beautiful scenery, and a beautiful place, Rock Hill, South Carolina.
So as we said, last lady to go up, Laura Smulders, current national champion from the Netherlands, just at 22 years old, had an incredible, successful BMX career so far. And tonight she looks to take it one step further. Can she be victorious in tonight's Superfinal Time Trial? We're going to find out here in just about 35 seconds or so as Laura's loaded in gate number 5. Let's see how things work out for her. And Jamie's going to pick her lap apart for us.
Nice clean gate as she goes down the hill. Nice backside on that first jump. It's critical to get good backside in these jumps. If you case the top of that jump, it just takes so much speed out of your effort. Green helmet there, so obviously she's the fastest so far. Let's see if she can keep that momentum up as she goes around the track. Looking pretty good so far. Nice tight line in that 2nd turn, coming through the rhythm. It's all about getting good backside, getting the odd pedal in. Here she comes, nice tight line. Oh, red helmet though. Can she get it back down this last straight? It's going to take a lot of effort, a lot of pumping, some pedaling towards that line. Can she get it? Yes, she does with a 34.4. She's going to be pretty happy with that lap, I think.
Yeah, her lap was pretty impressive because she had the third fastest start, fastest time out of the first turn. Then she slid back a little bit to second fastest overall, but then she was able to make up that time out of that last turn. And there is your women's champion for the night. It's going to be Laura Smolders from the Netherlands taking tonight's time trial victory here at stop number 4 of the UCI BMX Supercross World Cup Tour in Rock Hill, South Carolina. She's definitely be excited. Elke Van Hoof, a great run, finishing second overall. Then Brooke Crane will be third. Let's get a word from her at the line.
Great job. I know you just got finished. You're probably tired, wanting some rest to do your cool down. Strong lap, always known as a strong finisher. Did you think you had that one?
Well, I heard Max on the commentating saying I was second, but I had good speed going into the second half of the lap, so I was clean and I felt like it was a fast lap. So when I crossed the finish line, I saw I was first. I was happy.
Well, you have every right to be happy. It was a great lap. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so that's a word here from tonight's champion, Laura Smolders, victorious in the Elite Women's Superfinal Time Trial. As we said, Velke Van Hoof would finish second, Brooke Crane in third, Bonarenko fourth, Christensen fifth, Baugh in sixth, Danny George seventh, and Sorova will be the woman that finishes in the 8th place spot tonight. But on time trial night, it's all about first place, and that's Laura Smolders, Jamie.
Yeah, she's put in a good lap, and for these women, it just kind of gives an idea of where everyone's at, who's your competition going to be this weekend, but it definitely doesn't determine who's going to win tomorrow in the main race, but it just gives people an idea, see where they're at. And obviously, it's been a long season. There's been some big events. We've had the World Championships and Olympics recently, so a lot of these athletes just coming back to racing from a few weeks off and a well-deserved rest from the Olympics, trying to get back in the swing of things. And I'm sure there's going to be some rusty legs out there, but we definitely don't have a lot of depth here this weekend for the women. I know a lot of the top girls are not here, taking some time off, resetting after the long season. But nonetheless, I think it's going to be we're going to have some good action here in Rock Hill.
So there's your official results for tonight's time trial overall super final for the Elite Women. Laura Smolders taking the win. So now we're going to switch gears and go to the Elite Men. We're going to have the top 16 this time, and you see right there, 16 through 9. Those are your starters: Komarov, Upshaw, Jones, Nyhog, Vanderberg, Aquindo, Tramanis, and Andre. Those are 16 through 9, and then we will get to their second list. Some impressive names here, some of the who's who of BMX. They're all going to be going for that top spot tonight in the super final time trial, and you see these names. These are the big guns: Evans, Strombergs, Long, Torres, Blanc, Graf, Ramirez, and Corbin Shara. He's our overall leader in points right now. It's going to be interesting to see how things play out. Corbin's first time leading an overall Elite Championship series. He said he didn't feel any nerves. He was ready to hit that racetrack tonight. And as Jamie said, when the focus is all on one rider, it's easy to sit back and pick apart these riders' laps. But for some of these guys, they want to have that perfect lap. One small mistake you can sometimes see escalate into a few more mistakes. So the key is to have the clean lap. If you're going to make any mistakes, keep them minimal and usually try to, you can't pick a place where you're going to have a mistake, but if anything, you want to have it towards the end of your lap so it doesn't escalate through the rest of your lap.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like any sport, as soon as you interrupt that rhythm, then, you kill your speed, and it's extremely hard, if not impossible, to come back from. So, these guys will be well prepared for this. We've actually got a lot of depth here, Pete. We've got a lot of good guys. I mean, I think the first event after London Olympics was Abbotsford in Canada, and that was pretty thin on the ground with a lot of riders missing and taking time off. But here in Rock Hill, it seems to have attracted a lot of the top names, and there's only a few guys that we see not here. So I think it's going to be a pretty tough competition. And like you said, Corbin's in the chase for that overall title with 2 World Cups to go. It's definitely not in the bag yet, but obviously he's in a good position. He was at the Olympics. Maybe didn't get the result he wanted, but he was looking good. On any given day, he can get on the podium and can win a World Cup. So I know he's in good form, as is a lot of the other riders here this weekend. As I said, a lot of these guys have just come back from the Olympics. They're still in top form. You don't lose your form that quickly from racing at the Olympics. If anything, having that little bit of time off just kind of freshens you up even more. So I think there's going to be some pretty good battles with these top guys this weekend.
Yeah, we talk about, the talk in the pit sometimes was the Olympic hangover. Jamie, yourself, you're a medalist, gold medalist at the Olympic Games. Especially in track, there was usually not an event just after the Olympics.
Right.
But, you've seen these riders. You worked with these guys. You worked with the Olympic gold champion, just in case anyone forgot, from this year, Connor Fields, who's going to be here tomorrow, actually, to help us out. Right now, he's in Washington, D.C., was visiting with the president and all the other USA Olympians that were able to make that trip. But Connor will be here tomorrow. He's actually, in little insiders, a little insider secret was Connor raced the Olympics. His wrist was still broken. He broke his wrist earlier in the year, so we'll get more into that tomorrow. But that's why Connor he hasn't ridden since then. His doctor said, you still got to let that thing heal if you want to race because he wants to make a comeback towards the end of the year for USA BMX Series. So we'll kick things off with the super finals for the elite men. Evgeny Komarov from Russia, another one of these guys from Russia, Jamie, not known well for BMX, but in the last year have really set the thing on fire. They're building a huge program up there, and Komarov definitely one of those riders to look for, especially in the elite men's side of things.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I think that program doesn't lack and that's probably money. So I think they've probably got a well-funded program, and for Russia, I think they've done fantastic. Obviously, they got a lot of good sportsmen and women, and that's no different in BMX. So we're seeing new riders coming out of Russia, which is great. It's great for the sport. We need a lot of depth. And to get people from every continent and every country is great. So obviously, he set the fastest time here, first guy to go, hitting over that berm jump. And you'll see, for any of his first timers out there, slightly different course for the men as for the women. The guys hit the big berm jumps, slightly longer course, and slightly bigger jumps for the guys, just as they're able to generate just a little bit more speed, which enables them to jump some bigger jumps. But nice smooth lap here. I think he's going to be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, so he comes across the line with a 35.35, where we had the fastest time for the ladies was 34.48. But as Jamie said, their track is a little bit longer, a little bit bigger, a little bit gnarlier, with some, especially with that berm jump. But right there, Komarov from Russia was able to put down a pretty smooth, pretty clean lap. Jamie's the expert here, so he can pick apart these riders' laps. I think I can see the obvious mistakes, but I think Jamie's got a better eye at this stuff than I do.
I think that's what your worst nightmare is, something you dread. You're on the gate and you're just like, don't make any mistakes. And that's kind of the worst thing you should be thinking. You should be thinking about how to get it right, not how to get it wrong. But, I think you all, there's nothing worse than kind of, I guess, embarrassing yourself and crashing. And as we do see sometimes, riders do go down by themselves, but obviously with a lack or a loss of focus. But up next, we've got Jeff Upshaw, awesome lad here for USA rider, rides for Kuwahara here in the USA, 28 years of age. Jeff was on our reserve team for the Olympics, so he actually came out to Rio and got to participate in practice, but then obviously he had to go home once competition started. So I know Jeff's in good form. He's trained in Southern California at the training center in Chula Vista, and like all the other riders, I'm sure he's going to put a pretty decent lap in here. So a nice clean start from Jeff. If you can notice, it's hard to pick out, but he's a tall lad, obviously. He runs a super long bike. His back end is so long, just like Nick Long's bike. Doesn't actually get the quickest time yet. Let's see if he can get it back over the berm jump, nice and clean. And these asphalt turns, they're grippy. So just imagine, back in the day, BMX was dirt corners, dirt berms. It was a lot harder to kind of maintain your speed. But nowadays, nearly all the courses are asphalt. And so you can really grip, and it's kind of just how much you want to push it. And quite often the turn will take it. You can hold really tight lines. So there, Jeff finishes in second, 35.3, just shy of Komarov. Not quite enough to get the top seat there. So Komarov is going to be sitting there on top of the rock for a little bit longer, getting a cold butt. And
if you remember Jeff Upshaw, I think his first Superfinal Time trials, we said riders, aren't used to be the center of attention, was in Manchester. Yeah. And he had that, now we can look back and laugh at it, but he had a pretty big off down the first straight. He jumped off his bike. He flew, but he lands like a cat. He's a smooth cat off the bike, and he was a smooth cat getting off his bike that night. So that was a bad accident. I was there on the sidelines, obviously, and I saw that happen. He basically just had too much caffeine. He just got too excited.
which shows you what happens.
So next up is going to be Trent Jones from New Zealand. Trent's been one of those riders as well. Turn a lot of heads this year. The national champion from New Zealand. He's loaded in the gate, and you can see how these riders are signified as the national champion. Their left sleeve will be a replica of their country flag, and you can see that on Trent's jersey. But as Trent goes, he's going to try to get the top spot in tonight's Superfinal Time Trial from here in Rock Hill. Coming out of turn number 1, he doesn't have that fastest time yet. Jamie, tell us about his lap.
Yeah, a little bit shy there, about just a few hundreds actually slower than Komorov. So actually, as we speak, he's taken the best time. So obviously had a good second straight there. Can he keep that speed and that momentum up going down the third straight? We'll see here with the helmet. Yes, he's got the green helmet. Nice exit speed, there, coming out of the turn. Big sprint for the finish. Obviously, he gets that. Nice. He's going to be happy with that. That was a good lap.
Yeah, almost a full second faster. It looked like he had a little bonk just going into that last turn, but it wasn't enough to slow him down as he now will take the hot seat here in Rock Hill, South Carolina for tonight's Superfinal Time Trial in the Elite Men. Trent Jones, definitely one of those riders that likes the spotlight, so right there you get to see him have a really good lap around this whole track. Like I said, if you're going to make a mistake anywhere, it comes towards the end of the track. When you have a full second lead just about going to the last turn, you can be okay with that little tiny tap, but didn't look like him slowed him down at all as he comes across the line with the fastest time for tonight's Superfinal Time Trial. So we'll see if his time can hold up, because the next rider up is the guy that we saw win the first 2 time trials of the year. It will be Tori Nyhog from Canada, the Canadian Beast. He's going to get loaded up into that starting gate for tonight's Superfinal.
Yeah, Tori's an interesting one. He can do, and he does quite often put in some amazing time trial laps. We've seen him win a lot of World Cup time trials. He wasn't able to do it at the World Championships nor the Olympics, but he's known to be a very good time trialist. And if you just watch him as he goes around this course, gets a nice clean start there. He stays very straight and very smooth over a lot of these jumps. Tries to get aerodynamic, kind of crouches down into the bike. No flashiness, nothing, over the top with his riding style, just nice and smooth. And to get a good time, that's quite often what it just takes. No thrills, just nice and smooth on the bike. And Tori's pretty good at that. He's got the green helmet here coming out of turn 2. Heading into turn 3, let's see if he's got it. He's got the green helmet. Nice wide line there. Hopefully he's got some good exit speed coming out of that turn. Is he going to hold it on? Yes, he does. 33.66. That's a pretty good time there. Smashing the time from Jones, actually. That's a good lap there by Tori. And I expect that one to sit there for quite a while, to be honest. We'll see, though.
Yeah, that's the first rider to go in the 33-second range. Tori Nyhog goes back on that street of impressive time trial runs. He hasn't taken the victory yet, but as Jamie said, he had a good run. Some different lines than some of the other riders, but Tori can generate a lot of power, and we saw him do that right there, getting the lead after turn number 1. He was actually in there third fastest time coming out of turn number 1. So he had a really good line down that second straightaway, and from there on he just built on that lead. You can see the time was chipped away, and that put Tori into 33.6, where Trent Jones' time was 34.4. So definitely a good lap there for Tori Nyhog, the young Canadian national champion, taking the top seat so far of our 4 riders. And as Jamie said, he expects to see that time for quite a bit. We'll see if Dave Vanderberg is able to make Jamie eat his words. But I think Tori really did have a good lap. But Dave Vanderberg also has had some really good runs. We just haven't seen them consistently out here on the World Cup Tour, but obviously is the national champion in the Netherlands in the time trial class. He's one to be done. So here we'll see him as he gets ready to load the gate for tonight's Superfinal Time Trial.
Yeah, we'll see how these guys do as the evening goes on. The temperature is dropping. It is nice today. It was in the 80s, I must say, earlier on when the racing was taking place. But into the time trials, the temperature has dropped pretty quick. So, and even as these time trials are going on, that temperature is going to keep dropping. So it's going to be hard for these guys to stay warm. Obviously, they warm up before they do their effort. But for some of these guys towards the tail end of the time trials, there's a lot of sitting around before they actually get on the track. So that's going to be interesting to kind of watch and see if the riders like Corbin can stay nice and warm. Vanderberg, unfortunately, unable to put in a pretty smooth lap, but nowhere near as quick as he needs to be. But hey, got a second place. I'm sure he's going to be happy with that. But Tori's going to sit there and stay on top of that rock, cool down.
Top of the rock. Let's get a word here from Dr. Jason Richardson with Tori Nyhog.
Here with Tori Nyhog. Can you make it 4 for 4?
I don't know. I made more mistakes than I would have liked to that lap. I rushed a couple of jumps and wasn't my cleanest one, but it'd be cool to win 4 in a row for sure. So we'll see if it stands up against these fast guys.
We'll be watching.
Thanks.
Tori Nyhog.
So Tori Nyhog looking confident up there on the top of the rock. But we'll see, because next up is one of those guys, I like to call him the crafty one, Carlos Oquendo. He's one of those guys, when the race day comes, he's not out front all the time, but he's one of those riders, when they come across the line, he's usually in second, third place,
Right.
and you don't know where he came from. He's not a flashy rider, but he's a guy that gets a lot of good results, and right now he's looking to have a good result here tonight in the Superfinal Time Trial. So here we go with Carlos Oquendo from Colombia in tonight's time trial superfinal.
Nice clean start there from Oquendo. You notice he's a little bit more open, standing a little bit taller than Tori was there on the bike. Every rider's got their own style. They develop that from an early age, and quite often it's hard to change as they get older, even with some coaching. But, you know, that's the beauty of the sport, I guess. Everyone's got their own style, their own technique, the way of getting over some of these through these courses. Nice tight line there in the last turn. Red helmet at the moment. Sitting in about 4th place. Where's he going to end up? Yep, he's going to end up in 4th. Is he going to be bothered with that? I don't know. Cruises straight through the finish there. His racing will start tomorrow.
Yeah, so his typical 3rd, 4th place finish tonight, he's in 4th. He probably won't end up in 4th, but as of right now, that's where he sits. So next up, from Latvia, Edzis Traimanis. It's another one of those guys that's been impressive, but a little bit inconsistent. He's been flashy. He's been on the podium before. He's had, some good runs. Let's see if he can continue with those good runs here tonight in Rock Hill, South Carolina, as he's lined up for the Superfinal Time Trial, and if he can keep Latvia proud of their BMX community.
Nice clean start. Getting some good pedals there on the back end. Keeping his front end a little bit higher. You want to try quite often land with 2 wheels roughly at the same time. Getting some good backside. Again, it's hard to see on the camera. We don't really know what the winds do. As I said, the temperature's definitely dropping as the evening's going on. I don't think there's much wind out there, which is definitely going to help the riders. One less thing they've got to deal with. Got the red helmet at the moment. Let's see where he crosses 5th. Just solid lap. So again, some of these riders, some of these guys probably even, I hate to say it, but they know that they haven't got it in the bag, so they cruise around. But we're here for Tori.
Let's see what Tori's got to say.
Yeah, we got Tori Nyhog here, still surviving. How's it going up here on the rock?
Still alive. We got some guys to go, so it'll be interesting to see. Time trial's interesting because everyone kind of handles the track differently. So, yeah, like I said, we'll see, and hope you guys stay alive.
All right, we'll be watching.
Cheers.
So just about halfway through tonight's Superfinal Time Trial, Tori Nyhog sits on top. But one of the guys with the biggest personalities on the circuit, Sylvain Andre from France, he'll be our next rider up, Jamie.
Yeah, he's one that doesn't always jump out when you start trying to think about really some of the top riders. But Andre's definitely, he showed his presence at the World Championships this year in Colombia. Was looking as one of the favorite riders, wasn't able to put it together.
As his 56th place result at the World Championship show.
But no, he looked good in some of the earlier rounds.
So here's Sylvain. He looks stylish on his bike.
He's looking stylish, isn't he?
Yellow
He doesn't
banana
look like
suit
he's
looks good,
he doesn't look like he's out there to try and get the fastest lap. And I was trying to explain before that last interview, some of these guys, they just want to put in a solid lap. They just want to cruise around and, and just place. I mean, they'll do okay. It doesn't look like he's trying his hardest right now, to be honest. So I think his focus is going to be on tomorrow. He just wants to get around and put a safe lap in for tonight.
So Sylvain definitely had a lot of fun and 4th place.
Yeah.
We've talked to some riders and they said they ride best when they have a fun time around the track. for some of us from the outside, it looks like they're not trying. But
Right.
as you know, sometimes having fun makes it flow a little bit better. You're a little bit more relaxed, and sometimes that overall result shows it. So.
Yeah, that change of focus, some people just get too intense and too focused, and that actually slows them down. So, one thing I'm always trying to express to these riders, these athletes, is just, you need to find that right mental state when you're competing. You don't want to be too tense, not too laid back. There's a sweet spot there in the middle, and quite often it's hard to find.
So next up is going to be Kyle Evans from Great Britain. The top of the heap from Great Britain right now, so he's going to be the leader. Can he have a good lap here? He rode extremely well, as we know, in Manchester with that second place overall in the race. Right now it's about tonight's Superfinal Time trial here in Rock Hill.
Yeah, nice clean start. I had a close look at his bike the other day. He got it painted. It's a carbon bike, I believe, but he had it painted chrome. And it looks pretty cool. I like it. He, didn't do as well as he wanted in the Olympics. He is a good athlete. He's definitely one of the top riders. A little bit hit and miss sometimes. Call it bad luck, call it what you want, but was looking good in practice. Sitting about 5th at the moment. Nothing too special out of him this evening. Comes across in 6th place. He's change of focus immediately for tomorrow.
So Tori Nyhog survives another rider. With 7 left to go, next up's going to be one of those big shots to see if he can get around. Now, Maris Strombergs isn't known as one of those guys who goes all out in time trials, but you know what, Maris, I think he feels like he has something to prove. At one point, he did say he thought the Olympics would be his last race and he was going to retire. He probably had a nightmare. He had for sure a nightmare of a day at the Olympics on the first day. His day ended early.
Yeah.
And I think after that, it motivated him to come back and finish his, year strong, if not, adding on a year or two, because he actually said something about maybe he's got 2 more years of racing in him. So we'll see. Let's start things off slowly as he's on the gate tonight for the Superfinal.
Yeah, riders' attitude can change a lot through their career and every year. And, he, like you said, Pete, he was definitely disappointed with his Olympic race. Obviously, winning it twice before, remarkable feat, an achievement. And so, obviously, a huge disappointment to go out in day one there in Rio. Left a lot on the table. But, yeah, I've heard the same rumors that he's considering maybe racing for another couple of years. Feel he isn't quite done yet and wants to go out more of a high note. So, he's looking pretty smooth. He's not known to be the best time trialist, but pretty solid lap there with a 33.9.
Yeah, so definitely a good run there. Moves Maris into second place, keeping Tori Nyhog still on top of the rock. So we'll see as we have 6 riders left to go. Now, a guy who's pretty vocal about not really caring or ever really trying in time trials is going to be next up. That's going to be Nick Long.
Yeah, Nick Long. Amazing character. If you saw the Olympics, Nick was winning through turn 2. Hit his crank arm pedal on the bottom of the turn and the exit of turn 2. Unfortunately, lost a lot of speed there and ended up in 4th. We thought he got 3rd, but ended up in 4th. But he's kept his chin up and his attitude good, and he's here to kind of, again, I guess, prove himself this weekend. But like Pete was saying, doesn't always go out there to try and do the best time trial. Kind of wants to have a little bit of fun in the time trial. And we'll see how he does. He looked good in practice, mind you. Definitely saw him pulling some hole shots in practice. Green helmet.
Yeah, so Nick's been a consistent rider this year. I think he's made every main but one in every race that he's entered, and he's had a great season. Right now, he had that green helmet, slips back to second, but it's just ever so slightly. So let's see if he can wrap it up, Jamie, through here in the last turn.
Yeah, where is he? He's in 3rd right now, so it looks like he's kind of shut it down. Nick's forte is his first straight, so I'm definitely not surprised to see him with the fastest first straight. He doesn't always have the best track speed like some of the other top guys, but when the competition's on and the pressure's on, he can absolutely do it. But here in the time trial, obviously, he just wanted to go out and prove that he's one of the fastest guys here. He's stamped his mark down there in that time trial, but he's going to cruise around and now just go and get cooled down and get ready for the race tomorrow, where I expect to see him put in a good show.
So Ezequiel Torres, he's a rider that came up through the classifications. He was impressive as a junior world champion, and then he came back and he made some mains straight away right when he turned elite. He turned a lot of heads. He's had some time since the last World Cup, and tonight he's going to look to see if he can knock Tori Nyhog off that top seat. But he's definitely going to be one to watch when we get into racing tomorrow. But right now it's all about this time trial.
Definitely an interesting rider to watch. A little bit erratic, kind of got a unique style. I'm not sure exactly how early he got into the sport of BMX, but I've heard it maybe not quite as early as some, but definitely fast. He's got an amazing start, really good hill times. His hill times are always impressive. Doesn't quite always have the track speed as some of the others, but you can just see the passion in the way he rides. He fights. He loves to race. He's not necessarily a time trialist. He's just looking to get into the event tomorrow and race, and that I expect to see him put in some good laps tomorrow.
Yeah, so 5th overall. Sometimes he's one of those guys that I think the way you said erratic, he rides right on the edge where it looks like he's about to blow up, but at the same point, he's right about to pass people. So he's that guy that's found that limit, and he rides right at it most of the time. Tonight, he's going to be 5th fastest in that time trial, but there's no points, there's no money, there's no awards awarded tonight other than being the fastest rider, so we'll see how things go. Next up, Renaud Blanc. That's definitely another one of those riders that's been impressive this year. Had a good run trying to go for that spot at the Olympics. Right now he's going to go for that spot here for tonight's Superfinal Time trial.
Yeah, it's interesting. We've got 2 Swiss riders here in the top 4, so it's great to see Switzerland. Obviously, it's a huge cycling nation. Haven't always been the strongest in BMX necessarily, but they have had some amazing courses. I remember I've got some fond memories of racing in Switzerland many years ago. But it's great to see them with some top athletes here in the sport of BMX in 2016.
Yeah, so Renault's definitely a stylish rider, but he's also has the power and the style to get around that track fast. Right now, he's going to have what looks to be not as a competitive time as some of these other riders. But, Jamie, these guys want to, like you said, they want to go out, they want to have a fun lap, but at the same point, just know where the limit is on this track at a full fast speed. And for right now, Renaud Blanc coming across the line in 10th. He's not going to be super impressed with that, but as you said, he's happy to get across that line and get into racing tomorrow. So Tori Nyhog still at the line. Let's get another word for him.
How you doing, Rock Hill? Back here with Tori Nyhog. Just you keep surviving, man. What's going on?
Alive. Well, we'll see. Top 3 guys in the rank here left, so I'll love to see that stands up, but yeah, still here for now.
You do realize you can go out as the time trial champ. They're getting rid of this, man.
That's what I'm thinking. It'd be cool to win this one. So, yeah, like I said, 3 guys left, but hopefully I'm winning.
All right, we'll be watching.
So Tori Nyhog has 3 more riders to go. Will any of them be able to knock him off the top spot? We have David Graff, Carlos Ramirez, and Corbin Sherrod. Definitely 3 fast riders out there. So we'll see. But right now, Tori Nyhog was one of those first guys to go. He's been up there for quite some time. But David Graff, he's one to. Not a lot of us know a lot about him other than he's a really good rider. He makes a lot of aggressive moves. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Things happen, but he just wants to do the best that he can. And, he's had a 2nd place at one of these Supercross races. And tonight he wants to definitely start things off with the top spot in the Superfinal.
Yeah, definitely I'd call him a passionate rider. There's definitely a lot of passion there. He loves what he's doing. And he's definitely a competitor. He was out there to win, and I expect he'll put a pretty good lap in here. Nice clean start. As you see, they carry their first wheel over the kink. That's critical in getting a really good start. Then they get over the front of the bike, try and get that energy going down and forward, generate a lot of speed at the bottom of the ramp. He's got the green helmet, so he's got a nice, smooth, solid lap in so far. Can he keep it? Oh, he dropped back to 2nd. A little bit of a case there on that exit jump of turn 2. How's he maintaining his speed here in the last turn? Still the red helmet. Can he claw it back on the last straight? Not the perfect last straight, to be honest. Ends up in 3rd spot. So his lap started off pretty good. Few little mistakes here, and again, it just takes the slightest mistakes just to lose that little bit of speed, and it kind of ruins the rest of your run, and it can be downhill from then on.
Yeah, David Graff definitely had a good lap going, a little bit of a case there. And you see something on his bike you don't see on most of these guys' bikes or anybody else's bike. He has a disc brake.
Right.
So he's his own guy, and, it's great to see that out here. But he's going to be 3rd overall. So next up, Carlos Ramirez, the guy that stole the bronze medal from Nick Long. He didn't steal it from him. They had a photo finish. Great run from him at the Olympic Games. Carlos, again, he's one of those guys. He's raced BMX his whole life. I don't want to age myself, but I met him when he was a little kid. He's not that old now, but
Right.
but he's definitely one of those great guys that has a lot of love and passion for the sport. And let's see how he can do in tonight's time trial superfinal.
Yeah, one of the best racers out there, able to find his way through plenty of small gaps, as we saw at the Olympics with a fantastic ride there. Doesn't get the green helmet, sitting in, where's he at? Well, he's pretty far back right now, around about 12th spot as we're seeing here on our splits. Again, not always the best time trialist, but you'll definitely see this guy pulling, making some moves in the race. And I absolutely expect to see this guy in the final tomorrow. Seems like he's kind of cruising around. Just wants to get that lap done. Finishes with 11th.
But he's known as the little magician for a reason, because he's one of those guys. He comes from behind a lot, and he says he knows his gate's a little bit slow, but he has the desire and the ability to make moves from back of the pack, and that's where he comes from. If you actually watched that main event from the Olympics, he was in 7th place or so down the first straightaway, and he was able to come back for a 3rd overall. So our last rider up tonight will be Corbin Sherraw from the United States of America, our current leader of the overall Supercross rankings. Can he beat Tori Nyhog? A lot of people don't know Corbin as well as Jamie Staff does. So, Jamie, what's going through Corbin's mind right now?
He's got a good mindset for this weekend. He's like we said earlier, he's leading the title right now for the overall for the Supercross. So he's here on a mission, and he wants to get a good result this weekend. So he's such an interesting character, Corbin. He's very calm, very collect. Sometimes you want to kind of shake him and wake him up a little bit, but that's just the way he is. But he's very laid back, but he's a very technical rider, very smooth. He's one of those riders, when you watch him, you're like, come on, just try harder. But he is. He's going as hard as he can. He just makes it look easy. Very smooth. Not the fastest right now with 4th place. Can he pull it back towards the end of the lap? Again, like I said, he doesn't always make it look that quick. I don't think he's going to get it. I think we're going to see Tori Nyhog taking, again, yet another time trial win.
Yeah, so Tori Nyhog will be victorious once again in this Superfinal Time trial. Let's get a word from tonight's champion, Tori Nyhog from Canada.
All right, sitting here with Tori Nyhog. I think he has the track record, and I believe it might be a UCI Supercross time trial record, having just won 4 in a row.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like you said, I'm not sure if it's a record or not, but if it is, that's cool. It's always nice to start the weekend off with a time trial win for sure. I have a lot of fun here. After the Olympics, the atmosphere's a lot more relaxed, and I think we're always wanting to race for fun tomorrow and end the season well.
Well, we'll be watching. Thanks for putting on a good show, man. I saw you sitting here on the hot rock, so you held your composure.
Thanks, J. Rich.
Take care. Tori Nyhog, everybody.
So Tori Nyhog, the champion of each and every stop this year on the UCI BMX Supercross World Cup Tour, doesn't want to become a pigeonholed as a Supercross time trial specialist. Mike Day had that title for quite some time, but Mike Day also did win a Supercross back in the day. So definitely a good run there for Tori Nyhog. Mara Strombergs was 2nd overall. David Graff in 3rd. Nick Long would be 4th. Vandenberg 5th. Corbin Sherraw wound up in 6th. Torres in 7th, and then Jones would round out the top 8 for tonight's overall in those time trial results. So, Jamie, anything stand out for you in tonight's time trial?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Pete, we've got the luxury of seeing the splits here, and something that I see with Tori is he's 12th fastest at the start with a 1.936, and 8th fastest into the first turn. So he doesn't appear to be the best at the start of the race, but absolutely the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th straights, that's where he's getting his speed. So whether he made less mistakes or not, we don't know. We do see this in racing sometimes. He's not always the quickest starter, and we'll maybe see that tomorrow. He may not get every hole shot, but he's absolutely one of the best around the track and has fantastic track speed. But tomorrow he's going to need to get in front. He's going to need to try and get that advantage straight off the bat coming out the gate. Otherwise, he could get held up. Any other interesting facts there? Not too really. Nick Long with the fastest start we saw. That doesn't surprise me at all. 3rd fastest down the first straight. David Graff with the fastest first straight. That kind of doesn't surprise me either. So, I think for some of these guys, obviously they put the effort in for this time trial. Some other guys were kind of cruising around, but I think it's all all out in the field for tomorrow. I think it's going to be a great day's racing.
And speaking of tomorrow, you see the schedule for tomorrow's racing. We're going to have that action live from you from those semifinals for the elite men and elite women, and then we move on into the finals, the main event. Pretty incredible racing tomorrow on finals day here in Rock Hill. But as Jamie said, yeah, it's very interesting to see. You can go through these times and see, like, David Graff had the fastest time out of turn number 1. Nick Long was the fastest starter, but in the end it was going to be Tori Nyhag who had that fastest time. So again, there's that schedule for tomorrow. Saturday night racing under the lights here in South Carolina for the UCI BMX Supercross World Cup. So we'll get ready for our... Where are we? So, are you looking forward to racing tomorrow?
Who, me? I'm
Yeah,
not
you.
racing. No, I'm looking forward to the racing. Blowed off some cobwebs from the Olympics, but yeah, it's good to see everyone back in action, and I'm sure we'll see some exciting racing this weekend. It is a good race course. Some of the courses we go to are highly technical and somewhat even say dangerous, like Manchester, and even our track over in Chula Vista, which we haven't raced on this season, but that's a pretty challenging track too. But this one it's a good riders track, good race track, and you're going to see plenty of action, plenty of places to make some moves. So I think it's going to be a good weekend.
All right, so we look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow night for the finals day at the UCI BMX Supercross World Cup Tour. Stop number 4 here in Rock Hill, South Carolina. For Dr. Jason Richardson, Jamie Staff, and myself, Pete Deluski, thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you back here tomorrow night on BMX Live TV for the finals and the main event from the UCI BMX Supercross World Cup Tour. Thanks for tuning in.
Riders ready, watch the gate.